This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
I was trying to get it how I live. I want them dead presidents. I want to pull up, head spin, get it, get fly. I got 6 jobs, I don't get tired. I don't get tired.
Welcome in, everybody, to the latest edition of Two Bad Hombres. Vito's going to be joining me in just a few minutes. He's arriving now to the studio. This week, we got a lot to get into as well. The biggest news story of the week, obviously, is the injury to one of the great NBA athletes, Kevin Durant. I mean, what a heroic situation. Obviously, he missed about a month of playoff basketball. The Warriors earned their way to the NBA Finals without Kevin Durant. Just take a look at it. The Warriors were able to sweep the Portland Trail Blazers to earn their way to the final, and they earned a split, 1-1. And then with a plethora of injuries, the Warriors have struggled a little bit, but what a Game 5 victory to push it back to a Game 6. But at the time of this recording, unfortunately, the Warriors are going to be without one of the great athletes of the time, one of the great, I would say, top 2 NBA athletes right now that are playing. After last year, I had even made the comment that, just based on the way that Kevin Durant is playing in this postseason, what I saw in 2017, 2018, and alongside Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, he fit right in, and he was able to really handle business. So I looked at it and I said, it's time to really respect Kevin Durant just based on his game. So I was really impressed, and I was really fascinated by, the way that he was able to play. So I looked at it and I said to myself, okay, Kevin Durant, you're hurt now. You got a calf injury. Take a month off. Now it's time to get back in action. So it was imperative, obviously that the Warriors needed him. But Game 5 rolls around and he plays the first quarter, and you look at it and you go, holy cow! Kevin Durant, 12 minutes in, 11 points, making threes, making an impact, and then all of a sudden he goes down, and everyone's kind of quiet for a second. He grabs his Achilles, and then the Toronto fans, a handful, obviously cheered, which wasn't really a good look for them. But reports are, based on MRIs, that probably the likelihood was that Kevin Durant suffered a right Achilles tear, and likely his season's going to be out. And so I look at it and I say, man, what a tough situation. What a tough break. And all the talk afterwards has been about, well, hey, why did KD play? Why did he return? Where the talk prior was, what's taking so long? What's happening here? So I look at that situation and I say to myself, okay, nobody's to blame. This is a freak thing. Injuries are not planned by anybody. You look at scenarios in which injuries happen. Nobody thought that KD was going to go down. I mean, you look at doctors, okay? If you go into it thinking that everything is toxic and you go into it thinking that doctors don't know what they're doing, then you could maybe speculate that Kevin Durant was misdiagnosed. But I don't believe that. I believe that Kevin Durant tried his best. He was 100%. He was trying to come back to help the Warriors, and something freaky happened. Obviously, he had a leg injury prior, but when he came back, I don't think he would have risked everything. I don't think he would have risked those $1 million unless he really felt comfortable that he could come back. And now Vito joins me. I'm glad he's here. Vito, I was talking about the injury to Kevin Durant and the talk all about it. I just think it's fascinating that everybody's kind of jumping now on the bandwagon against the Warriors, against the doctors, when it was a freak injury. Look, he tried to come back and he wanted to help. He's competitive. Now, I could understand the argument if you're Kevin Durant. Do you say, you know what, ride this one out, you got a big contract? But remember, he also, at this point in time, has a $31 million option. He can just activate it and he can rehab with the Warriors next year, basically delaying his free agency 1 year. I don't find blame in anybody. It's just a freak accident. When stuff like that happens, I don't think that the Warriors intentionally sent an athlete out there less than what he probably could do. Was he 100%? Probably not. But was he good enough to compete at the highest level? Just look at his performance in that first quarter.
Really quick, too, I'm late for this week's podcast because my driver was late in picking me up. So I'm going to blame it on somebody else. There's always a fall guy. Chris Carter taught me that, too. So I'm going to just bring up Chris Carter. Anyways, regarding Kevin Durant now. You know what? He wanted to play, though. He wanted to play more than likely, too. So he wanted to be out there and wanted to showcase that he's got grit. He's a true warrior, no pun intended. And his mom came out in his defense, too, on Twitter. Did you read that tweet, too, where she said he showcased, I think, to everybody, all the doubters out there, that he is a true warrior, was willing to put it all out there on the line for his team, for the sake of his team, sacrificing his own body and health subsequently. So you got to give him a lot of credit. And I think he gained some street cred as well in going out there when he wasn't 100% fully healthy.
Did you see the presser after with the general manager in tears, basically saying, look, it's probably an Achilles injury? Everybody zoomed in. Did you see kind of that right leg pop a little bit? Did you see the zoom in?
It didn't look good. Didn't look pretty for him. They say torn Achilles, out for a season, or with the rehab time, all of that involved, which is why, as you brought up now, that opt-out clause, maybe he opts into it for a year, gets all that money, and rehabs with the Warriors. And once again, that would delay his free agency by a year, but maybe it's worth it at this point for Kevin Durant.
I want you to put yourself in Kevin Durant's shoes, okay? You have this opt-in for over $30 million. You have the potential. Everybody knows that the entire NBA is going to covet him. He's going to make supermax money. He's going to make a boatload of cash. But obviously, you were out of the league for 1 month with a calf injury. Would you have considered returning, even if you were like 85%, 90%, to help your Warriors, especially when they're down 3-1, but also knowing that potentially, maybe in the back of your mind, maybe an advisor, maybe a friend tells you, look, if you get hurt, if something happens, you're potentially going to cost yourself millions and millions of dollars, especially, look, obviously with the marvels of modern medicine, he probably is going to rehab and get back on the court, but there's a chance he could struggle for a year or two. Would you have taken that risk? Would you, if you were Kevin Durant and you were being advised by your agent and your friends, would you have taken that risk and gotten back on the court?
Yes, because I'm a team player. I'm a real man. Okay? I'm a man of true grit. But realistically, yeah, because you are playing a team sport. You're going to give it your all to go out there and support your teammates. The teammates of the Warriors, of his, needed him out there. Even though Steph Curry is so great, Klay Thompson is so great, Draymond Green can play great, they needed Kevin Durant out there. And guess what? He scored 11 points. Remember that? They won by 1 point. Without those 11 points in Game 5, the Warriors would not have won that game. So think about that, too. Kevin Durant came up big, even though he played only how many minutes? Less than 20 minutes. Still 11 points, 3 for 3 from 3. I mean, he was making all his shots. He was electric. He was looking great. Great shot maker like he can be. He showcased it all in Game 5. And he helped the Warriors win that ball game in the end.
Vito, I respect your commentary. I think many people would fall along the line of what you're saying. But the challenging part is with sports is everybody's so skeptical about everything. Everybody's commenting regarding blaming the Warriors. And something that I heard, which was fascinating, was that because of the fact that Boogie Cousins was rehabbing, Kevin Durant was playing many, many minutes. He was used quite a bit this year. That's why a lot of people right now are blaming the Warriors, are potentially stating that, you know what, you overused Kevin Durant. Maybe you rushed him back. Can you at least sympathize with those that say, you know what, the Warriors are to blame? Do you see their point of view because of the fact that obviously a guy with a leg injury comes back and within 12 minutes, majorly injures himself? Do you think with time and when people look in-depthly regarding what actually happened, that potentially the Warriors were to blame by maybe even rushing back KD?
See, I view it like this, though. The Warriors and Kevin Durant both knew going into Game 5 that he was going to play after going down 3-1 in that series to try to save the series for the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors realized after going down 3-1 that it was the time to put Kevin Durant back in the fold. And he wasn't going to be fully healthy. He knew that. The Warriors knew that going into a must-win Game 5 for Golden State. So I would say Kevin Durant knew as much as the Warriors about it being a risk for Durant and how he could have injured himself worse, made it more severe as he did. So I don't buy into the narrative totally that Golden State totally killed Kevin Durant and that it's because of the Warriors that Kevin Durant now has ruined his free agency coming up and the rest of his career won't ever be the same. Because it's a two-way street. Kevin Durant could have, I got to believe, Doc, and everybody out there, I think strongly that Kevin Durant could have told Bob Myers and the Golden State Warriors that he wasn't playing in Game 5. He chose to play in Game 5, chose to put it all out there on the line to save that series for the Golden State Warriors, and subsequently he realistically did by scoring 11 points, by being as hot as he was to start the game before he got hurt. He saved the Warriors' behinds. And then Steph Curry made the clutch 3 in the end, and Klay Thompson had a hell of a game. And Draymond Green looked like he was more in tune with the game than in previous games in this series. Yet I still believe, once again, that it's a two-way street, and I think they both knew going into Game 5 that Kevin Durant was going to play and was going to play at not 100% health.
Yeah, it's a fascinating look at sports and getting back, and it's an unfortunate injury. You look at DeMarcus Cousins, he's back, but he doesn't look the same. DeMarcus Cousins was explosive. That was a guy that could drop 30 points on a given night. Now he looks a shell of himself, can't move. So that Achilles injury, it's unfortunate. Many people say that the Kevin Durant injury is going to change the league. You had potentially the Knicks, you had the Warriors, you had a plethora of teams that tried to clear cap space to get Kevin Durant, and now, potentially speaking, maybe the odds-on favorite is that he's going to stay with the Warriors, and I want to get your sense on this, too. Do you blame the Toronto fans that cheered? Because I look at it like this. I don't judge. I think as you get older, I think you don't get emotional about things. You just say things and do things. Obviously, the way I text you, you're just like, God, the guy's laughing, and you're sending things. I just send things. I don't put a lot of emotion behind a lot of things. It's just easier that way. And I look at the scenario, and I go, okay, alcohol's involved. You have a championship maybe on the line. The fans are all riled up. They've been partying since probably noon. They were super excited. And then they see, oh my gosh, the best player on the opposite team that everybody's been talking about. Obviously, the big news of the last weekend has been, oh my God, KD's coming back after Game 4. He's going to play in Game 5. All the respect goes to KD. So a handful of fans. It wasn't like the entire arena stood up and there was a standing ovation. There was an audible cheer because obviously the fans recognized, oh my gosh, without Kevin Durant, we likely have a better opportunity to win the NBA title. So I'm not mad, but there's this big outrage like, oh my God, there's this classless group of fans. It wasn't that many. Those that did, I understand why maybe they did, but I wouldn't do it, me personally. But if you're a sports fan, don't lie. If the opponent's best player gets hurt, you're like, oh, yes. I mean, obviously, Lions fans, you cheered when Aaron Rodgers went down. Don't lie to yourself. So I don't begrudge the fans that did it. And now you had Steph Curry. And obviously, I respect, the Toronto Raptors players that said, hey, everybody calm down. Don't be doing that. They kind of set the tone and showed a lot more class. But for me, I wasn't all that angered by the fans because what are fans? Fanatics. They want to win. And do you think that really the majority of Toronto fans care about Kevin Durant? They obviously don't want him to be hurt and gone forever. But if you told them prior to the series that Kevin Durant wouldn't finish it and he'd get hurt, sign me up for that. Check plus. And, when the Lions play, if Mitch Trubisky goes down, if Aaron Rodgers goes down, even if Kirk Cousins, fellow Spartan, goes down, I'm gonna be.
You're cheering, aren't you?
I'm like, yes, we got a better chance to win. I'm not gonna openly be like, yeah.
Well, you're not gonna get up on your feet and cheer loudly and proudly.
Yeah.
I'll say this: it'd be hypocritical for a lot of people who are sports fans, true sports fans, to come out and say, oh, they wouldn't even think of the fact that they'd be excited for the best player on the opposition getting hurt. So the Raptors fans, in their defense, I bet they all were thinking it, but then to stand up and clap and cheer on Kevin Durant getting hurt, that's where it can be considered and labeled as classless. You shouldn't be doing it. Just like the phrase out there for people is think before you speak or think before you tweet, like yourself, Doc, when you're tweeting at Detroit Podcast on Twitter, you're being a social media addict and Twitter addict specifically. Well, also think before you clap and you applaud a player from the opposing team getting hurt. Despite the fact that he's the best player and him getting hurt enhances your odds of winning the game and winning the NBA championship in the first in Toronto Raptors franchise history. Still, think about it before you get up and clap. So you can think about it and be proud in your head that it happened, but to actually openly act on it and to clap and applaud the fact that he's leaving the court and is hurt, and subsequently it looks like, and now it is the fact that he is out for the remainder of the series, that's where it can be labeled as classless, and that's why these Raptors fans got criticized by a lot of people, and that's why Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka came to the defense of Durant and said to the Raptors fans, stop it, guys. Please, stop clapping. This is not a moment and a reason to clap. And honestly, if I'm a fan of a team that's playing for a championship, if this was a Pistons, Doc, in this case, I think, honestly, I'd rather have Kevin Durant remain healthy. I want to beat the Warriors at their fullest ability and level with Kevin Durant being healthy. So him getting hurt, well, that's a knock on the Raptors. If and when they win the championship now, some people will take it away from the Raptors and say the Raptors won and only won because of the fact that Kevin Durant went down to injury. So think about that. I'd rather beat the Warriors, especially the Warriors, this dynastic team, at full health. So for sure I want to be clapping that Kevin Durant got hurt. I want to beat the Warriors with Kevin Durant healthy and prove to the masses out there and to all the doubters, Doc, that, hey, my team, man, can beat your team at full health.
Yeah, like I said, Toronto fans, they've been nothing but classy. You see that they're passionate about sports. You got Drake all up, all over the NBA.
All
finals.
up in his feelings. All in his feelings, yeah.
And he was damn near tearful that Kevin Durant was walking off. So
a lot of people were. So it'd be hypocritical to come out. If you were at that game, to come out and say, oh, God, that was so wrong, you were probably clapping too, or at least thought of it. It'd be hypocritical once again to say that you didn't think about it at all.
So with that said, I do think that Kevin Durant and the Warriors, they did the right thing. Obviously, this is a guy that is instrumental to the team. He's kind of like the heartbeat of the team. When he came back, obviously you saw in Game 5 the spark that he provided. So I don't have any hard feelings for the Warriors. I think Kevin Durant tried his absolute best. He's a team guy, like you said. And unfortunately, though, sometimes in sports, Vito, when you try to do the right thing, something terrible happens. And the Achilles injury for an NBA athlete is so tough. A la Charles Matthews. Did you hear the news about him?
Yeah, he's really done tough. Now. Who was a number 60 prospect. He shouldn't have entered the NBA draft anyways. Now he's hurt. He's done. His draft stock is over with.
But yeah, the worst possible timing was the fact that he got hurt. Charles Matthews, that is, former University of Michigan Wolverine basketball star. And unfortunately, he made a choice, and it was working out. I think he was working out for the Celtics. And bam. Hurts his Achilles, and now he's probably going to have to work his way back for a year, rehab, and then try to find his way on. Probably now he's going to have to do the hard way, probably play overseas, play in the developmental leagues before he gets back up to the NBA. So it's not impossible to get to the NBA that way, but he took a chance, and sometimes, Vito, when you take a chance, it just doesn't work out right. We're going to talk about Vito's birthday weekend right after this quick timeout.
And Doc, as you know, our fine sponsor, the DSP Network and of Two Bad Hombres, is DC Sports at Lakeside Mall in Sterling Heights. Now, an announcement I want to make here is that the Chase Winovich signing is no longer happening on June 15th. But still, what is happening is Lou Whitaker, Sweet Lou himself, who should be a National Baseball Hall of Famer, is signing autographs at DC Sports June 30th. So be there for that signing. And to find out more about that autograph signing and all of the authentic memorabilia that DC Sports has to offer at its fine location at Lakeside Mall in Sterling Heights, please follow DC Sports on Twitter at DC Sports Detroit. And make sure to check out DC Sports' terrific website at DetroitCitySports.com.
All right, welcome back to this edition of Two Bad Hombres. Oh, man, good stuff so far. Oh, man, the NBA Finals, NHL Stanley Cup Finals, kind of the sporting year, the sporting calendar is coming to an end. And, Vito, last weekend, you celebrated a birthday. You and my nephew celebrated a birthday in June, which is really awesome. And I really enjoyed the fact that, you started this podcast when you were like 23, 24 years old.
I know.
Now you're
20, way too long.
Now you're
Good
26.
God. I know. Making me feel old, but 26 years young. Not years old. Just turned it June 9th. Where were my birthday gifts? I didn't get showered with support and love. I thought I would get that from you at least, Doc. And none of it. None of it last weekend, man. What the hell happened? Please tell me.
Your birthday fell on a weekend.
Oh, so that's your excuse. That's why, because you didn't have to see me. That's why it was no big deal that you didn't give me any gift, huh?
Obviously, if you pay attention to our Twitter page, the output that I do on the weekend's a little bit less than during the week because I'm so busy. I'm the busiest on. Actually, it's so counterintuitive, but I'm the busiest Saturday and Sunday. I'm the busiest, and obviously, I noticed that when I put out stuff, like I put out that preview clip from our podcast.
We got a
that
lot
Sunday,
of hits for that for Jason Colthorpe.
because obviously more people are on the internet and online on Sunday. So obviously, you know that. That's a free tip there. But you had yourself a birthday weekend. I think that you, Dom, and Nick, and your parents did some things. And what was it like, and did you enjoy it?
Went to Royal Oak, lived it up a little bit, started at Hopcat. Have you been to Hopcat, by the way?
I've never been there.
Good meal, good beer. Had a couple of beers there to start my night off.
Did you have the quote-unquote crack fries?
I
know
was
they changed the name.
I wish they were still called that. It's funny, my buddy Nick, Nick, he calls them crack fries still. They're
Everybody
not,
does.
but he will to the waitress. He loves doing it on purpose. He knows they're not that anymore. But anyways, started off the night at Hopcat, had a couple of brewskis, okay, to get my night started. Then I went to Fifth Avenue, also in downtown Royal Oak, right across the street from Hopcat.
Oh, so it is. Okay. So tell me about Hopcat. I know everyone talks about it, the fries, the food, the beer. Is it a great place? I've never been there.
I had a salad. It's known for its burgers and sandwiches. I had a salad. Trust me, I got made fun of. And I do consistently get made fun of when I get a salad. But this is why I'm trim and proper and look the way that I do, that I'm a sexy, independent, 26-year-old man.
So Nick's probably ordering a fat burger and beer, fries. Your parents ordering full meals. Why you're ordering a salad? You had the nerve to do it. You're like, okay, I'm gonna have the salad.
I got some greens, baby. Come on, I needed some greens inside of this body to make myself look like the way I do.
No, I think that even though you potentially do eat some fast food, you don't eat really bad. Like you don't
I
mix the whole
try
thing.
not to,
You
at
don't
least.
do the burger fry pop combo.
No,
You're like,
I never drink pop. I haven't drank pop since I was a young lad. I mean, God, it's been 10 plus years now probably since I last drank or drank it consistently.
Yeah.
Probably I have a cup of pop 3 times a year, 4 times a year, maybe 5 times a year. That's it, Doc. How about you? A little bit of a different story, huh, when it comes to you.
I can go about 2 or 3 weeks without it, but I just had one prior to today.
Oh,
I was at the zoo.
Look at that.
I was at the zoo with the daughter and a bunch of kids. We walked about 5 miles, and oh man, Vito, the weird thing is people say that, sometimes your metabolism slows down. For me, if I get physical, I can eat a lot. Like if I work out or things like that, I can eat a whole heck of a lot of food and not gain weight. It's just the times when I'm sedentary, then I pack on the pounds. Like literally, I can eat like a Big Mac, fry, Coke, work out, like an hour and a half cardio, some lifting, don't gain a pound. And sometimes it's just the way it is. And so for now, what I've been doing to share with you, I've been counting calories, and it's worked. I've dropped 3 pounds with one workout. I was like, dang, that's a secret.
Wow.
Yeah, unfortunately, I know the number. It sucks. I'm only allotted 1,750 calories a day. And
Wow, that's under the normal min, like
Yeah.
2,500 calories per day
That's,
for somebody like me even.
that's to lose a pound a week, and I've lost 3
Only
pounds.
to lose a pound a week?
That's 1,700.
Now,
But actually,
what happened to your original diet when you were trying to lose a lot of weight and you lost about 10 pounds? And what happened to that? Did you get it back and gain more or what?
No, what happened was I obviously didn't do it the right way. I didn't do it scientifically. I probably was because obviously I still have those hungers and appetite. I have a strong appetite, so obviously I probably was taking on 3,000 calories a day drinking pop.
Oh, well, there you go. All that
and-
sugar, all the calories,
Yeah.
empty calories.
So now I realize I got to do it scientifically, and so that's why I'm not as felt as you are, but I'm going to get there, and I feel great. Obviously, it's just hard to find the time to work out. That's the secret to me. It's not dieting. Well, probably I have to add it to the mix, but the secret to me is get physical and work out. And when I walked 5 miles today at the zoo, and man, I love the Detroit Zoo. So for you, the secret is to go to the bar, celebrate your birthday, and eat salad.
Eat salad, but I drink some brewskis.
Drink some
By
beer.
the way, I drink beer, and those are empty calories too, and that's a lot of calories. When you drink enough beer, I drink like 8 beers, I think. That's a lot for me. I mean, what's the norm for a guy on his birthday, though? It's more than 10, probably, for a dude.
You drank 8 the whole night overall?
Yeah. I mean, that's like nothing, right? Really. For a lot of guys, trust me, it's like nothing. My buddies and how much they can drink, yeah, it's more than 8 beers, especially on their birthday.
So
more than likely, too.
Your folks go to Hopcat, and then they go home, and you go with your buddies?
Well, see, the thing is, my parents weren't even there, but my mom made a great homemade meal on Sunday last weekend, so I love that. We had breaded meat sandwiches. It was beautiful, man. She got watermelon as well. I love watermelon, love fruit salad. We had ice cream, vanilla ice cream for dessert. I had bananas on that. I mean, there's a lot of people that would not be eating the stuff that I eat, but I do like it. It was a meal that I wanted. My mom made it and made it in great fashion. It was terrific as usual from her, and the weekend was terrific as a whole, too.
So overall, it was a good birthday.
It was. It
So
was.
how
To
was
ring
Fifth
in my
Avenue?
26th birthday, it was very fun, Doc.
How
And
was-
you weren't there, which is why it was very, very fun, actually, too.
Yeah, I can understand. So overall, it was fun. The vibe is good. And why do you love Fifth Avenue? I know we've talked about it before.
We've been there, Nick and I, before. I think he likes it more than me. I'll admit that much. But on my birthday, I was feeling it a little bit. I was dancing a bit. I had my fun, man. It was fun. And it's a lively atmosphere, let me tell you that much, too. And a lot of women to see and to pick from. And it was cool. Good time. Dominic was there as well. So we all had a few brewskis. I'll just say that. And to ring in my 26th birthday, it was very fun. As my birthday actually was midnight of, well, it was Sunday. And so Saturday was really when we were partying and whatnot. And then it became my birthday officially at midnight. And then we actually ended the night by going to Leo's Coney Island, which we go to a lot as well, to end the night. So kind of a ritual that we've had in the past when we've been in downtown Royal Oak, and something that we did once again.
Very good. So overall, it was a good birthday.
Yeah,
How you
yeah.
feeling being 26?
Real old. No, I don't really feel that way. Now, I've heard people say, hey, you're closer to 30, which I am, than to 20. Now, that scares me a little bit. I don't want to be 30. I don't want to be 40 years old either. No offense to you or anybody that's 40 out there and up. But to be 30 and close to it, it's scary to think of that. I'm not 30, but once again, closer to 30 than to 20, that intimidates me a little bit because it makes me start thinking, God, I got to really turn my life around. I got to get the hell out of this studios at some point, too. I mean, I got to make some real money here, baby. So one day, and before I'm 30, And that's when I'll be out of the house as well before 30. So it's coming quick when you start thinking of that and goals I have in mind to be out of my house within the next 2 years, which is 28, and once again before being 30. So all of that starts adding up, and I start thinking about it more and more. And since I turned 26, I have started officially thinking about it more too.
Okay, good stuff, Vito.
Yep.
26 years old, had a good time. It's really fun when you get a little bit older. I think you're more laid back. You're not obviously going to tear up the town days on end.
No.
Okay, but, the lucky thing is now your birthday's in June, which allots for some good weather days. I mean, bro, it's tough. I mean, we got this tough winter where it's really cold, and then it rained, I think, over 20 days in May. So it's real gloomy, cloudy. But now we've had a plethora of, consecutive days with nice weather. What do you think is the best thing to do when there's nice weather and it's nice outside? Do you like to sit outside on a patio? Do you just want to go for a walk and be outside? Do you want to go and play golf? What do you think is the best thing to do when it's nice outside? Because, sometimes when I'm cooped up in the studio, I just sit outside and I wonder, man, people are outside, walking their dogs. They're having a good time. But for me, I'd rather just sit on the garage, have a cup of coffee, and just stare off into space, have some cocktails. And
sit in your garage and grill in your garage, maybe?
Not do nothing, right?
Is that stereotypical or something? Maybe. Anyways, I would rather just have a laptop and look up an educational video or two.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. No, I want to be outside. I want to enjoy it myself. I really do. And I can sit in a lawn chair as well and just enjoy myself just sitting down and watching people drive by and looking at the sun. And for me, just being out in the sun, probably having a brew or two, maybe playing baseball outside on a nice summer day as well. So those kind of things stick out to me and are things that I like doing when it is a nice, warm summer day.
Oh, yeah. You haven't really been keeping us in the loop regarding your softball team. How have you been doing? How's your season going along?
Can't hit to save my life. I'm below the Mendoza line. I know that much. But I'm fielding. I can feel. I got a nice glove at short. So overall-wise, 4-0 to start the season. So the team is looking great. Am I looking great at the plate? Hell no. But can I get better as the season goes along? Sure, because it's early on in the season. It's a small sample size of my hitting ability. So I'm going to turn it around at the plate. Come on. Big V has to make it happen and will make it happen, Doc.
I'm looking forward to the softball game. I know it's getting really close. I think you got a lot more commitments. You're growing this thing really well. I'm really looking forward to it. The big thing is, obviously, with any event, is the weather. You have
to hope for that for the best case scenario with it.
What happens if there's inclement weather? We just got to wait and see if we can ride out a window, or what happens?
We can ride it out. We can go inside of Briggs. It's the College of Liberal Arts and Education building right by Bussey Field. So Bussey Ballpark. So we can go inside of there. There's Callahan Hall where we know Detroit Mercy Hoops plays. We can go walk across the parking lot and go inside of there as well in case of inclement weather. But you were saying the enrollment is up, you could say, or the amount of people is higher than it's ever been. It looks like I'm going to have 40 players this season, Doc, including you. Can't wait to see you out there on the diamond there at Bussey Ballpark. You were out there at Wayne State last year, and you looked good. You actually surprised me. So got to give you a lot of credit for your fielding ability, for your hitting, and our team stunk it up, right? Stunk up the joint, to say the least. We lost like 18-2, but you were one of the lone bright spots, and I think yours truly was as well. But last year we had, around 26 people, I think, 25 to 30 people, and I think 26 was the official count by the end of that game last year. This year we might have 40. We might actually have 40 players, Doc. So once again, the amount of people coming to this game will be more in totality. So we're really boosting things for this summer, and we're making strides, man. We're going to make, I think, a lot more money and raise north of $5K this summer, which is my goal.
Some great name sponsors, so I'm really impressed, Vito. You're doing good work, and like I said, you did make it a charitable company, so good for you. I have a 501c3 now with Churko & Company officially with the IRS and the state, so they can come now audit me, come hunt me down if I'm not paying my taxes. So I got to pay my taxes individually, and now for my nonprofit, Churko & Company. And you were speaking of the sponsors, the Detroit Sports Commission, a fine sponsor of the DSP network, is a sponsor of my charity softball game once again for a fourth straight summer. Also, Joe Randazzo's Fruit and Vegetable Market, and Health Quest is a new official sponsor, and those are all co-title sponsors of the fourth annual Churko & Company charity softball game this summer, which is being held at the University of Detroit Mercy, my lovely alma mater, and on Saturday, August 3rd at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So looking forward to seeing you guys out there, and we want more and more people because we want to raise more and more money for Make-A-Wish Michigan. Great podcast recording, sir. Happy birthday. Obviously, you know, some things will happen for you. I'm not going to just do it right here on the day, in the week of your birthday. You know, obviously, we'll write it out a little bit, make you wait and see what's going
Oh,
on.
good. I'm going to wait it out then. Thanks, Doc. Thanks for that little birthday gift there from you to end this week's episode of Two Bad Hombres.
Definitely pay attention. Thank you guys for downloading the interview with Jason Colthorpe from WDIV. He's a great sport. Love the interview. Two Bad Hombres. We have a good time. Vito, you know, now he just shows up late into the show. That's how he rolls. But, you know, he's the VIP of the network, so he's allowed to just do that.
By the way, I had a fall guy once again, okay? In honor of Chris Carter, had a fall guy. And with that being said, adios.
I was trying to get it out here. I want them dead presidents. I want to pull up, head spin, get it.